Mark, good to chat with you again. An extended break for your side between games. How have you looked to use the time?
Well, we had the opportunity just to give him a little bit of a break over the weekend, which I think we all benefited from. But came back in Monday, and it's been really good in terms of the energy in the group and good sound levels. That's always a good indicator in and around the dressing room areas, and yeah, they look in a good place at the moment.
Has it been a benefit to give you more time to welcome back players, and if so, how are you shaping up going into Saturday?
Yeah, we'll probably get a couple more bodies. We'll obviously see how they go this week. Likes of Mike Derbyshire and the likes. The indication is he'll be okay. Manny should be okay. Jamie Walker as well should be okay. So yeah, we'll have lots of options.
In Matty's case, would he be ready to go from the start, or do you have to build him back up a bit?
He could do. I don't usually do that. I usually try to just filter him back in. That's what I've done in the past. But if you speak to Matty, he'd probably say, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." They all say that. So no, I'd have no worries putting him in from the start. He couldn't play 90 minutes straight off, obviously, because that would be a little bit too dangerous given he's coming back from an injury, but no, he could start, but we'll see how he goes, finishes the week off, and then as long as he's putting his hand up, that's what I want at the weekend.
What's Abo's situation at the moment?
Abo joined in actually in the warm-up today, so he's progressing well, hasn't had any setbacks, so hopefully he'll be available for selection. There was a worry that he might be out for the season, but that's not going to be the case, so that's good news for him. Yeah, so yeah, he's been with the physios for a number of weeks now, and today took part in the warm-up and the early part of the session, so he's building up to be available again.
We obviously learned about Adam's situation earlier this week. Just how big a blow is that for you as a side?
Yeah, it's a blow because he's done really well, and obviously he's come in and made a mark on the group as well, just on and off the field, just because he's a big personality, and yeah, actually during the game we may well miss that, but other guys have to take up the slack, and I'm sure they will. We've got some decent experience still in the team, clearly, so yeah, it's a blow because he's come in and made a good impact, which I expected him to, given his experience and the level he's played at before. But ideally we would prefer him being available, but that's not going to be the case. Hopefully, I haven't spoken to him, he's a quick healer by all accounts, and hopefully we'll get him back in 2 or 3 weeks. That's looking on the bright side, but hopefully that'll be the case.
How do you feel that shape that he leaves behind in the team?
Well, like I said, we've got options. We've got Manny coming back. Like I said, Jamie comes back. Different type of players, obviously, but it's not as if we're short of numbers in the area. We can move players on. Richie obviously played the vast majority of the season in that position anyway. So yeah, we've got cover. So not too concerned.
Obviously, you've been at the base of the diamond when you played the diamond. You've tactically changed since then as well. Is it a case of tactically changing to adapt to his absence?
No, we can still go any way I want to go. Yeah, we still got the full complement of options going into any game or against any opposition, so no, it doesn't compromise me in terms of which way I go, so that's obviously the benefit of having a depth of squad that maybe other squads haven't.
Obviously no game Saturday. Did you keep across how the fixtures were panning out?
Yeah. Obviously you keep an eye on it, but yeah, ideally we would have been playing ourselves, but we've gone through that last week. But yeah, we're all looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be a really big atmosphere there. They're bringing lots of fans. We're going to be in huge numbers once again, so we've got to make sure that we outshout them, get a real atmosphere and generate noise and real drive from everybody, and that comes from obviously the team playing well and doing what we need to do. I'm overcoming a very good team, a team that's playing well at the moment, and obviously had the benefit of their cup run where they probably overachieved in terms of what they did, but what they did was fantastic. So they'll be buoyed by that and be confident that they can go up against anybody. So we know it's a difficult game and they've got good players, but I think we're just jumping out of the pit. We can't wait to get back out there, and frustrated obviously last weekend, but it's all before us now, so let's look ahead to it.
You mentioned the cup run that they've been on this season. Did you manage to follow it at all, watch them on the top?
Yeah, they did great. Obviously against Southampton, fantastic night for them. A little bit more difficult against Brighton, obviously, and the Premier League side showed their quality, but yeah, fantastic journey for them and a great story for their season this year. The fans of their club will obviously look back on this season with really fond memories, and why not? So credit to them. Their form in the league obviously hasn't probably matched that, but they've come up last year and have never been in any real trouble, so that's credit to them. So yeah, it's not going to be easy. They're another team that's got good quality within their ranks that can hurt us if we allow them to. So not an easy fixture for us.
And given where they are in the table, I think it's probably fair to say they'll be safe this season, getting promoted from last season. Maybe the playoffs might be a stretch for them. How do you expect them to approach the game coming to Valley Parade?
Well, I know how they have been approaching most games. It's difficult when teams come to our place, more and often not. They have a real go and try and enjoy themselves. We've got to try and address that ourselves. So I fully expect them just to rock up and have a go. Why wouldn't they? Like I said, I don't think they're in any danger of going down. There's an outside chance they could still make the playoffs if they go on a decent run, and from their point of view, what better place to start a run is than at our place. So we've got to be wary of that and recognise that they've still got ambitions that they want to fulfil this season. So we've got to be careful, but it's up to us to set the tone for the day.
You must take confidence from how you performed in that draw against Carlisle. It feels like a little while ago now, but the way you went about your business that evening.
Yeah, I thought we played well. Yeah, I felt after the game we looked back on it, and having watched it through numerous times again, as we always do. Yeah, I felt we were the side that was more deserving of the 3 points. But it was a great game. I enjoyed it. I thought it was two teams really having a go, and that's the games you want to be involved in. I thought it was a really strong performance from ourselves. The one prior to that, obviously the Hartlepool game, was one that we should have won more comfortably, and we didn't, which was more frustrating. But I think the Carlisle one was a decent game with two good sides going against each other, and we felt obviously that we edged it given our second half performance, but weren't able to just get it over the line. But encouraged by what we produced. Yeah,
I know you're big on momentum, but it must help the momentum when you've gone about your business in the way that you did. Yes, it wasn't the win.
Well, yeah, and I think that was in my back of my mind in terms of the Crewe game, because we wanted just to carry on and keep it going, because the sense that we were in a good place. But nothing I've seen this week in terms of the work we've done on the training ground has made me anxious in terms of what we will produce at the weekend. I just sense we've got a real purpose to what we want to do, and everybody's on board and on track in terms of that.
Finally, just what are your thoughts more generally on the run-in and the gap between yourselves and the automatic promotion places and your chances of getting there?
It's all to play for. I think there's 7, 8, 9 teams who are looking at it and thinking, yeah, season's still going very much in the mix for us, and we're right in the mix for the automatics and certainly the playoffs, and that's how we're viewing it. It's the first time for a long time we've been involved in any kind of run to the finish, and so it shows that we've had marked improvement this year, but we want to finish off with something that we've achieved. So we need to do that.
Do you offer yourself that chance to take stock and reflect on the progression you talked about there?
Well, clearly have, because I've just mentioned it, but no, it's not somewhere I dwell on. It clearly, I think it's there for everybody to see. What is it, 7 games to go, and we're in the mix. We haven't been in recent times, so it's a pretty obvious observation. So we're just pleased where we are. We just got to get something more substantial at the end of the year for the reward for all the hard work we put in on every level.
Excellent.
Cheers, man.
Given the other fixtures that are taking place this weekend and the fact that you kick off early, it's a real chance to put a marker down.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I think we talked about that last time we had an early kick-off, and yeah, I mean, if you could get 3 points on the board, and then teams obviously aware of that before they go into their games, that's a little bit of pressure, I feel. Early kick-offs, I've said before, are great if you win, because if you don't win or you lose, then it's a chance missed, or feels like a chance missed, to borrow in a little bit of extra pressure. So that would be the challenge for us. We just need to go into the game, play as well as we can, and get maximum points, which is the order of the day from now to the end of the season. If we do that, that pressure will build on teams in and around us and above us. And if you can apply that before they actually play, then all well and good. That must help us.
We heard from Richie that early kick-offs don't particularly bother him because he doesn't like eating that much before a match. No. But how as a manager does it change the way you deal with the build-up?
Well, everybody's different. Richie, it doesn't faze him at all. Other lads sometimes feel better, so others feel worse. It's a strange one. I think what you want is an understanding of where everybody is. If I felt it was going to compromise everybody, then there's certain things you can do. You can get everybody in, or you get everybody in the night before, but then that upsets sometimes sleeping patterns of other guys. So it is a balance, and I think it's about making sure the team as a whole are comfortable in the plan we have for the game. Certainly the early kickoffs do change the structure of the day leading into the kickoff, so it is something that we consider, but for the most part last time out felt our levels were good. We played okay in the game, and I didn't think there was any, after the game I didn't look back and think we should have done something different, so we'll go with the same format, I think.
Thanks very much.
Obviously, Mark, about Grimsby, I think bringing a couple of thousand. Is that going to help the players? Because you get a great, we've seen a big game atmosphere there, and the stakes are high anyway. But it's sort of probably that noise level around you and that atmosphere probably just.
Yeah, well, it's great. I mean, that's why I came back, because I wanted to experience that. That's what I missed when I was away. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's always the same when. I think the difference sometimes at this level, sometimes there isn't a great. Not every team brings a great level of support to away grounds, just because they don't have that amount of following away from home. But obviously, when teams come to Valley Parade and they bring big numbers, then that's always something to go up against and back your support against them, and we always do that really well. So more of the same. We just got to out-shout them, out-cheer them, don't give them anything to get excited about, and see where we go. We need to get in front. The first goals are always massive at whatever level you play at, so if we can get our nose in front, then I think Valley Parade crowd will just get us over the line and overcome any noise or atmosphere that they try and generate.
I think we sort of alluded to it before. Obviously, it's been a while since this club's been involved in this sort of chase. I mean, this month coming up is probably as big a month this club's had for a long time.
Yeah, we need everybody pushing in the real same direction. Everybody getting us over the line, and yeah, I think everybody should be excited by it and look forward to it. Don't be fearful of it. That's not where you're going to get the enjoyment from. So just enjoy the moment and enjoy the good moments, and deal with the not so good moments, because there'll be a few of them along the way, but hopefully we'll all get to where we want to get to.
in terms of, you know, there's that much football still to be played. It's almost like a new league starting now, isn't it, when you look at that?
A little bit, yeah.
Teams possibly, yeah.
Yeah, there's like I say, 7, 8, 9 teams that still realistically would feel that they've got a good opportunity to achieve something of note this year. So yeah, we're one of them. The season's still live for a lot of teams, so that's what makes it interesting. That's why it's a challenge, because so many teams are still involved.
And you obviously mentioned Matt Derbyshire coming back, losing Adam Clayton, but in terms of Matt Derbyshire's experience, I mean, that must come in handy.
Yeah, it's good to get Darbs back. He was really unfortunate to go out of the team, and was playing really well at the time when he did go out of the side. So we have missed him, but I think it's just his understanding of what's required in terms of the movement of a front man, and that experience that he's had at different levels and at different times in his career. That just was something that we would have liked to have had on more occasions, but touch wood, he should be okay for the weekend and for the end of the season, which is great news for everybody.
You say obviously how well he's played since coming in. Were you surprised, not in terms of obviously how good a player he is, but surprised at how quickly he sort of hit the ground running with the team mid-season like that?
Not really, because I knew what I was getting. Obviously, I had experience of working with him before. He came into training the first couple of weeks, and he looked really in great nick. I mean, you see Darbs around the place, and you can tell he's a good athlete and a good professional in terms of how he looks after himself. So I didn't think it was a risk, and that's why we did it. I knew I was getting a good player. And a player that would help us, and I'm sure that's what's going to happen from now. He's already helped us, obviously. You think back to obviously the Stevenage game, could have scored a couple in that game. So we know he's got quality at this level that will at times make a difference.
As you say, because the experience at this stage, when it sort of gets a bit sort of nervy.
Yeah, it's important.
You've had that in the past, and you know you cope with it, and know when you come
through
it.
Yeah, you can go back to those thoughts and those memories, and you can bounce back from those times and recognise what's required when you recognise those moments again. So experienced players have that advantage over less experienced players. Okay.
Thanks, Thank you very much.
See you later.